everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I am going to be doing a wear test, well, a mini wear test and a review. I am going to be doing a mini wear test and a review of the Taos Cosmetics complexion liquid concealer and complexion setting powder. Taos Cosmetics is a Nigerian brand that I have been using for quite some time. They have liquid lipsticks, they have liquid velvet lipsticks, they came out with bullet lipsticks this year, they have a highlighting palette, they have a bunch of products, and this is their first launch of complexion products. Before we get into the main gist of this video, please do me a huge favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love for you guys to join me and the Deola Adebiyi family here on this side of the internet. I'd also love if you guys could click on the notification bell so that you can get notifications of all my videos whenever I upload. Without wasting any more of your time and without enough jibber jabbering, let's get into today's video. So as I said in the intro, today's video is going to be about the Taos Cosmetics complexion products, and they came out with 4 complexion products, but I only have 2 because this is where my money could reach. They came out with concealers, they came out with setting powders, they also came out with flat compact powders, and they also came out with skin enhancer, which is basically like a concealer in a little pot. These products came out in February this year. I'm trying to find the Instagram post that they used to announce this product. They announced it on February 4th, but when I went to the store they told me they have 4, and this is number 3. I picked up the second to the darkest shade of the powder. This is what this is the packaging it comes in. I'm sorry if it's a bit overexposed. This is the packaging it comes in, and this is what the setting powder looks like. When you open the powder, you get this. You get a little puff, which obviously I'm not going to use, and then you get the sifter here, which is being covered, which I think is a really good idea. Never buy loose powder without a sifter. And then the concealer comes like this. This is the packaging on the outside, and then this is what it looks like. I am not the biggest fan of this concealer packaging. I don't know, I just don't like how this looks. It does have a doe foot applicator, which makes applying concealer very easy and simple. And this is shade number 6. I got shade number 6, and I think for the concealers they have 4 shades if I remember, or is it 3? I think they have 3 shades. They have one that's lighter than this, and they have one that's darker than this, and they also have an orange correct. One thing though that makes me happy about this concealer is that I am not using the darkest shade. This is not the darkest shade. The darkest shade though is my skin tone. A lot of Nigerian brands, which is weird and crazy to me, are not inclusive when it comes to shade range. I always have to use the darkest shade of concealer. Makes no sense to me, but the foundation that I'm going to be using for today's wear test is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra Wear. This is a little mini sample. I didn't want to use like my full bottle because I'm trying to, as I said in previous videos, I'm trying to like really save that foundation, because apart from the price, it's a really nice foundation and I don't want to use it a lot. I decided to use this foundation in particular because I wanted to know how the Taos Cosmetics complexion products like the concealer and the powder work beyond my favorite products. I'm just going to be applying a nice light layer of this foundation on my skin. We are going to go straight into the concealer, and I'm going to be using the concealer the same way I always use concealer. I'm going to apply it under my eyes, the bridge of my nose, chin, and my forehead. Before I do that, let me swatch the concealer on the back of my hand for you guys to see. As I said, I'm using the second to the darkest shade of this concealer. It does have a kind of pinkish undertone, which is very interesting. I usually like concealers that have a yellow undertone because I like to bring out the yellow in my skin. I think this should be able to work. Let me swatch my other concealers next to it so I know I'm not like kind of going crazy. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. You can see how much more yellow this concealer is to this one. This one looks very pink next to this one. And then this is the House of Tara Pro Concealer. See how yellow these two are, and this is like really pink. And then last but not the least, let me swatch the Azaron Liquid Concealer. By the way, they came out with darker shades for us finally. This is very yellow, and I can't use this because it's too yellow and too bright. This looks very pink. These two look very pink next to this one, and then this one looks very pink next to these ones right here. First, going to apply right here under my eyes. It does have a scent to it, so if you're sensitive to smells, or if your skin is sensitive to perfumes, you might not want to pick this up, but it has a scent to it. So it definitely is not a stiff, thick concealer. I decided to zoom you guys in so that you guys can see this properly. But this is what it looks like under my eyes. It doesn't look too light. It doesn't look too pink. I'm just gonna apply a little bit here, up here, and just dots down here. So far, it looks good. It doesn't look too light. I am concerned about how pink it pulls on me. I'm a little concerned about that, but let's move on. So on this side, I will blend out the concealer with my brush, and on this side, I will blend out the concealer with a sponge. This is just me trying to figure out what is the best way to blend out this concealer. So I'm gonna use this right now to blend under this eye. It blends very, very nicely. I will not lie about that. That's a really nice blend. And it does brighten the under eye. I'm looking at the viewfinder right now. It does brighten the under eye. I only put on a light layer because I wasn't sure about the way it would blend. I didn't want to apply too much and it wouldn't blend out properly. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more right here in the darkest area of my eye. That is a very nice blend and a very nice look. I don't think I'm worried about how pink it pulls anymore because it just blended really nicely. And it dries down, not very quickly, but feeling it, it's not as tacky as before. So it does have a little bit of a fast drying time. Alright, let me blend out this side with my sponge. This is the Real Technique eye sponge. It blends out very, very nicely. I like the way this concealer blends, especially with the sponge and with the brush. They blend nicely. You guys can tell me if you see a difference with the blend. So far right now, so far so good. It's looking pretty good. The same way that I added more under this eye, I'm gonna add a little bit more. This concealer definitely layers well. And it definitely looks like more skin-like. It looks like a very good skin-like concealer. I'm not worried anymore about the pink. I don't know where the pinkness went to. It went away. I'm gonna use the sponge to blend on my chin and my forehead and my nose. Alright, so this is it blended on my skin. First impressions, I like it. I like how it feels on my skin. I like how it looks on my skin. I was worried in the beginning because it pulled very pink, but apparently it works. Blended very well with a brush and with a sponge. Alright, it's time to try out the setting powder. Now, I actually wanted to buy two setting powders. I wanted to buy the one that I could use under my eyes, and I wanted to buy one that I can use for the rest of my face. But I decided that if it works under my eyes, it would definitely work for the rest of my face. So this is, as I said, shade number 3. So this is definitely a yellowish banana powder. I'm going to take my damp eye sponge and just take a little bit from the lid because there's a lot of it in this package, like in the sifter right now, and I don't want to apply too much. Okay, that's a very light banana powder. This is a very light yellow powder for me, almost a bit too light in my opinion. It reminds me of the Makeup Revolution luxury powder in banana. Like, it's yellow but not too yellow. Like, on the skin it's yellow but it also looks a bit whitish. It does set very nicely and it looks very, very smooth. I have dry under eyes, so I can't bake with this, so I'm just going to apply it very lightly, just enough to set and also do a little baking. So this is what the powder looks like on my skin. It reminds me a lot of the Makeup Revolution luxury powder in banana, in the way that banana isn't exactly yellow, but it is yellow, just has a little bit more whiteness to it. I'm going to take my brush now and wipe off the powder because I don't like leaving powder under my eyes for too long because I have really dry skin. So I think this powder is a bit too light for me. I'm trying to wipe away the excess. Alright, the first thing I'm seeing while trying to wipe away this powder is that this powder definitely stays. Like, it is a very staying, how do I explain this? This is where I stopped, and you could see exactly, like, if you come up close you can see exactly where the powder stops, like where I put it. So you just have to blend out those edges. It's kind of a little bit interesting to blend. I won't say hard, I'll say it's interesting to blend. Let me give you guys some thoughts on the setting powder. I like it. I like how it set the foundation. I like how it has really good staying power. I had to do a little bit of work to blend the demarcation because it literally just wanted to stay where I put it. But you need to blend out the demarcation so it doesn't look like you have like a line of like concealer, powder, and then the rest of your skin. But once you blend it out, maybe because I put too much, I don't know, I don't think I put too much. Alright, so I have applied the concealer, I have applied the powder. Let me finish the rest of my makeup and see how it plays with other products, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I am back. I have finished the rest of my makeup, and let me give you guys some of my thoughts on the concealer and the powder. For the concealer, I really like how it looked. I was worried that it might be too pink to work for my skin because I really like using yellow concealers, but it worked out pretty well. You guys could see in the beginning that it blended really nicely. It had a really nice skin-like finish, which I really liked. Now for the powder, right now looking at the viewfinder, and I was looking at my face while I was doing the rest of my makeup, I think the powder might be a little bit, just a hair, like a tiny bit too bright for me. It's not marketed as a brightening powder, it's marketed as a setting powder, but it does have brightening properties, and it did make my under eyes look really bright. Right now, what I had to do when I was doing the rest of my makeup is that I used some of my regular translucent powder to kind of set everything and kind of bring down the brightness of the powder. Also, another thing that I need to note is that this powder does have like a really nice setting and a staying power. So unfortunately, today is not a day where I'm leaving my house or I'm going out. I'm literally filming, editing, staying at home and working. But I will do my best to leave my house at one point, maybe take a walk, and I will allow the sun to touch my face and to like kind of allow the makeup to set and settle in, and let the makeup let the makeup wear on my skin. Hey guys, what's up? So this is me coming in with a check-in, not my end of the day check-in, but this is like kind of like a midday check-in. So this is what my face looks like by, what time is it? 4 p.m. About an hour after my last clip, my brother came home early, and I asked him, oh, what does my face look like? Is there anything different? Is there anything, up or anything? And he said that at first looking at me, my face looked alright, but then upon like looking at my face closer, he said that my face looks a little bit cakey. I don't know if I look cakey. I don't think I look cakey. I think it's because like I didn't use setting spray right after my makeup, so my face definitely looked like that powdered look. But this is like a couple of hours later, and I think my face looks fine. You guys will let me know in the comment section. I think the powder is a bit too bright though. Like, I don't know. I think it's bright, but at the same time I don't think it's bright. But definitely you guys should let me know in the comment section below. Hey guys, so I am back, and this is my final check-in. It is almost 6 p.m. so let's say I've had this concealer and setting powder on my face for about like, let's say 1 to 6, so like for about 5 hours. Again, this is like a mini wear test because I didn't even leave my house today. I said I wanted to go for a walk in the evening, but I got so overwhelmed with work that by the time I looked at my phone, or like I looked at the time, I was like, yo, I can't do anything anymore. I'm not going out anymore. Anyway, so this is what my face looks like after a couple of hours. This is my final check-in. I'm not mad with this concealer and this powder. I think it does a pretty good job. It does brighten my under eyes. It does conceal. I should have done this before, but I should have actually swatched all my powders next to each other so that I can actually show you guys like what my powders look like. So this is the Taos powder swatched on the back of my hand. I actually really love how the powder feels. It's very smooth and very silky feeling. This is the Makeup Revolution powder, and as you can see, they kind of look alike. Which is why I was saying that the Taos powder reminded me of the Makeup Revolution powder. And this is the Sasha Buttercup powder, which I haven't used in a very long time. The Sasha is definitely a bit more yellow, the Taos is right in the middle, and then the Makeup Revolution one is like the whitest of them all. Overall, I really like how the powder looks on my face. Maybe because I didn't use a setting powder, it maybe looked a bit too light because it maybe had that still powdery look and feel. But right now, looking at my face in the viewfinder and looking at my face in the mirror, I kind of like how my whole face looks. This is a close-up of my face. I like it. It's a good product. It looks very good. There's a couple of hours of wear. Of course, I'm oily here because I always get oily here. Alright, final thoughts on the products that I have tested today. I like the concealer. It blends very well. I was a bit worried about the color, but the color worked out very well for my skin. The powder looked a little bit too light, and it has a lot of staying power, which means it was a little bit tricky to blend out, especially by the demarcations around my nose and around my cheeks, but it turned out fine. I really like the way my makeup look. My under eyes look really nice and bright and beautiful. So would I recommend you buy these products? Yeah, I think they're very, very good complexion products. I might not be the biggest fan of the packaging on the concealer, but it did a good job. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. Please do let me know what you think of this video by leaving me a comment below. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up because it helps my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh, do not forget to be awesome. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.